Ah, very good. Yes.
Been brought millenniums ago, the seed planted here. But right here, there are no animals that eat, that lives. So that is why in Africa they have spikes. Not here. Very nice. Wait for the photos, because when these other group finishes. We don't come here to see the church. We have seen the cathedral. The reason to come here is on that word, Greco's #1. What's the name? The title of the painting? You can read it in descriptions at the bottom, both descriptions. It says in Spanish, El entierro del Señor de Orgaz. Orgaz. This is to compute with another word. So Orgaz. Look, no, it happened to me before. Well, who was this gentleman? Lord, the translation in English is the burial or the interment of the Lord of Orgaz. Who was he? The Lord of Orgaz was the mayor of Toledo 701 years ago. When he died in 1323, 701 years ago, he was buried in this church. Why? Because he was the donor of this church. He was looking for a place to be buried. That is why he made a big donation. The church was built, then he had the right to be buried. And when the burial was taking place, suddenly two saints came from heaven to this church. These two saints took with their hands the dead body of the Lord of God and put him into the grave. I'm not asking you to believe it, all right? I'm a guide, I'm not a priest. One of my brothers is a priest. Anyway, I'm just trying to tell you the story that this painting represents. Approximately 250 years later, now we are in 1586, that priest, the parish priest of St. Thomas Church, commissioned Greco to represent it. And the priest was the one who told Greco, I want you to do it in two different parts. At the top, heaven. At the bottom, earth. Do we see the two different parts of the picture up and down? Let's look first, please, at the bottom right. First man we see is a priest reading a book. You can recognize him because he goes to the same barber that I do. Now you know which one is he. He was. Okay, now we are approaching after this. We are approaching. Let's give them time to take the photo. Take your time. Even closer. Thank you. Well, remember, we're looking at the bottom right. That first priest reading the book is Father Andrew. Father Andrew was the one who commissioned Greco. And perhaps also told King Greco, don't forget who's going to pay. Put me there. On the left of Father Andrew, there is another priest. Do you see the one standing with his back to us? Look at his robes. Here, Greco was one of the first painters in art history representing that transparency. But I don't know for you, for me it really looks translucent. It does. Right in the center of the earth, we see the legend, story, the two saints that are holding the dead body of the Lord of God. Seer saint, the one that is on the right, the one that is holding the back, the shoulders, Saint Augustine. Saint Augustine was a bishop. Look at the words. That's a mitre, bishop's hat. different shape and color from the cuts we have seen in the cathedral. Remember those of the cardinals? Oh, I'm sure that some of you remember that the oldest city in your country was named after him, northeastern Florida. The other saint, the one on the left, the one that is holding the legs, is Stephen. For those of you who are Christians, perhaps you remember that Stephen was the first martyr. Yes, in the Bible, in the Christian Bible, you can read that he was killed a few years after Christ when he was just a teenager. So look how Greco painted his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He looks exactly like me. 10 years ago. Well, does any of you remember how Stephen died?
Stone.
Great memories. So look at the bottom part of his robe. Don't you see the blue tap strip representation of the mark?
That's great.
Very free for men holding stones ready to kill him. So this is a small picture within the picture. And both are holding the body of the Lord of Forgath, who is wearing the typical suit of armor of that medieval knights. Bottom left. Do you see the child dressed in black? He's the one that is introducing us to the painting. I mean, he's looking at us, but at the same time, the left index is pointing towards the dead body of the Lord of Forgath. He's trying to tell us, this is Greco's masterpiece, and this is my father's masterpiece. Because that's the portrait of Greco's son, George, was his name. Do you see like a white handkerchief in the middle part of his body, shaped of a triangle? That's the place where Greco signed his picture. He used to do that very often. Many of his paintings appear in a small white piece at the bottom. That's always for the name. Behind Greco's son, two monks, one in gray, one in black. Please look at the monk in black. And now count 3 faces to the right. I repeat, monk in black, 3 to the right. Is the third face behind and above an open hand? Looking straight out. That's what today we call selfie. That's correct. Selfie. We used to say self-portrait. Anyway, Greco was painting his masterpiece. He wanted to be on it. Why not? Well, we have seen the earth. Now let's go up to heaven. But in the way looking up, we discover that right at the very center of the picture, there is an angel wearing green robes on the legs. Do you see that angel? Look at the right hand. Tell me, do you see a baby? I know it's difficult. I mean, it's almost translucent. But there is like a small body. Why don't we say clearly? Because Greco was trying to represent that spirit, soul of the dead person. And the angel is the one that is lifting up to paradise. Who are waiting for this new soul arriving? To the left, in red and blue, Mary. When we look at her face, at the same time we are looking at the face of Greco's wife. So he made a family portrait and he saved some money, go for him. Behind Mary, up to the left, in yellow. Why do you know that is Peter? Because he's holding the keys to the king. Opposite Mary, across the heaven's door, there is a saint who is kneeling almost naked, just wearing a camel skin. John the Baptist. What is he doing? The Baptist is the one who is introducing Jesus to this new soul coming. And Jesus Christ, that is at the very top of the painting, moves the right hand, points towards Peter, and says to him, "Open the gates, let him in." Well, this masterpiece had to be restored in 1975. The reason was the smoke of candles burning here during centuries. And when the restoration was finished, this oil on canvas was moved from its original wall. You know, Greco painted here in place, in situ. In 1975, it was moved to that other wall to give us the chance to see it. No, it was the same shape. That is why they thought, okay, it's the same. We don't have to do any work else. You know? And it doesn't matter because these two walls are at the same distance to the tomb where the legend, the miracle, the story happened. That's the tomb where the Lord of God was and still today is buried since 1323. Now before exiting, please don't ask me how much it's worth. because it's not for sale on Sundays. Tomorrow, trade on eBay.com. Any questions? To the right of Mary, right to the right is John the Baptist. First gospel of Jesus. Okay, listen, there are 2 doors to get out. We have paid full tickets, so we can use both.
That's crazy. I know what I want to do. Toledo. All right.
Was it meant to be 7 hours?
No. Meant to be 6.5.
Oh, okay. Well, that is fine.
Right there, and look, there is the old bridge. See, it leads across. What's left of it? Look at that. Go this way.
Have you been back in the console? I'm just to close my eyes to do something.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that.
You know what? I'm gonna look back and go, that's such a fun time. I don't really care how I look.
It used to be the bridge.
everybody here in the center of the building. This is when we exit our church. The door is very low and it's just so narrow. You see, this is what we carry. I go, in this case, I go in the back. But look at our position. Crouch.
The workout.
You see? Más abajo, you see lower, and you go, I can't.
Have they ever had an accident where they hit the top?
We sometimes, but very softly. So.
Yeah.
And now, look, we have to turn because the wall is here. You see, little by little, poco a poco. And now, get up this area. Yeah, you see?
That's
I got
amazing.
the last one. Perhaps you can see my balls up there. And now when we are out is when we go. And now he says, derecho, stand up.
Amazing. That's amazing.
You know, when he says that, we have to stand up. You discover that you have muscles in your back that you didn't know that you had.
Yep.
Hurts. Well, we have got a mystic moment of the processions. Again, we aren't alone. Well, welcome to the oldest synagogue we have in Spain. Also one of the oldest synagogues left in Western Europe. I'm not going to tell you the exact date of the construction because it was never recorded. So we don't really know the date of the construction of the building. However, what we know, thanks to the records, is that this building was a functional synagogue in 1220. So if it was in use in 1220, it had to be built at least 1 day before. I think it was a week, but I wasn't alive. Anyway, next question. If we are in a synagogue, why is there a cross?
Yes.
But please don't look only that way. Look at the building.
Yep.
Look at the architectural style of the building.
Yep.
The columns, the capitals, the arches, that geometrical decoration in that upper galleries.
Uh-huh.
Or do you remember that triforium of the cathedral? Look at the same arches, the pentafoil arches. So we all can see that the building doesn't look Jewish, the building doesn't look Christian because the building looks Arabic, Muslim.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we are in a synagogue that has Christian decoration but looks like a mosque. We are back to the three religions.
Right.
So when the Sephardis, that is how they call themselves, you know, the Jews from Spain are Sephardis. Why this name? Because they don't call this country Spain, they call it Sepharad. So Sephardis are the Jews from Sepharad, from Spain. Well, when Sephardis needed a new synagogue, they discovered that the best artists, the real best workers living in town were Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't mind. The Jews commissioned Muslims the construction of the building. But there was a little problem. Which one? Muslims knew very well how to build mosques, no synagogues. So they built a mosque. Actually, they put the building facing Mecca.
Oh.
But thank God, from Toledo, Mecca and Jerusalem are both in the same direction. So when the building was ready, Sephardis came here. That was the original entrance, that one. They came here and put a church, which was a synagogue. Since the first day, since the first moment, this building was a synagogue, never a mosque. Do you remember what's the bima in the synagogues? The bima is like the altar of a church. You know, it's the place where the rabbi reads the Torah. But I'm asking you that because I know that in most of the synagogues that you have in Northern America, the bima goes in front, like in the churches. So the whole congregation sits facing the same direction, something that is so logical. But Sephardis don't do that. They place the bima in the middle. Then men, only men, are allowed to sit down all around. The tradition is the older they are,
The closer.
the closer. Can you guess why you seniors sit at the front?
They can't hear.
What?
The same reason I'm following you closely.
What are you saying?
The same.
Question of hearing.
Yeah.
Today's a tradition because today we have microphones.
Yeah.
But imagine, 2,000 years ago. It was all the time. Can you repeat?
Yeah.
But that was just for men. What about women? There is always like a specific place for the women that is always separate. So men's room was this area, the ladies upstairs. Do you see the brown screens there? Behind that screens, not anymore, but in the old times there were there was like a structure made out of wood with the different stories, the different rooms, depending on which position you were in the society, was the place to be one or another. And not alone, not only women, also children, remember under 13, boys and girls, all get upstairs. However, when boys turn 13, celebrate the bar mitzvah is when they get downstairs. Well, they were using the building like a real synagogue until 1492.
True.
I tell you something. In Spain, we only have 1 year of history. Everything happened in 1492. So boring. Anyway, exactly on March 30th, 1492, the Catholic monarchs, Isabel and Ferdinand, told Sephardis, if you want to keep on living here in our kingdom, you have to convert. If you don't convert, hasta la vista. 80% of them decided to stay and convert, 20% left. What do you think that would happen to this building after 1492? Christians came here and took it over. They put a church. But not for so long. In about 100 years, less than 100 years, the building was again abandoned, became a shelter for homeless, convent of nuns, military headquarters. Finally, in 1851, it means 10 years prior to your civil war, the Spanish, what you call federal government, decided to declare this building a national historical landmark. And that's the only thing that the building is today, monument. Why is it only a monument instead of an operating synagogue? Not enough. There are only 2 Jewish families living in Toledo. 2 is not enough. Only the men count. So we only have 2 men. Do you know how many are required for the minimum for the congregation? 12 were the tribes, in this case it's 10 men. We only have 2. Don't ask me why. As soon as you return to Madrid, meet some of the 20,000 living there and ask them, why don't you move to Toledo? Now they are completely free to live wherever they want, but they are just living in the big cities of Spain. Madrid, Barcelona, Seville, Valencia, Alicante, Malaga. Think about America. It's not the same.
Let's say they start using the synagogue.
Well, if they actually, that was the promise of the King of Spain in 1992. Wait a minute, 1492, 1992. The king met here the Prime Minister of Israel, a lot of Sephardi Jews here, and made that promise. If the Armenian ever returns to Toledo, this building will be yours. At that moment, the population was 0. Now we have to. Give us another 20 years. No, I was telling you, think about Northern America. Come on. How many Jews you think can be living in New York? Almost 2 million.
Yeah.
How many you think can be living all over Wyoming?
0.
Probably 2.
2, yeah.
I tell you, I check it out, it's 400
Yeah.
in a whole state. So what happens in Northern America is the same, not only in Spain, I mean in Western Europe, where most of them living big cities. Okay, I would like to show you now the only Jewish emblem left in the building. But I have to take these people away.
Sorry. Trying to get out of the way.
Now you can see better. You have to look at the first one like this. I'm straight.
This one?
All see mine, straight up.
Yeah.
You see the start?
Yeah, there it is.
Only one building. If you compare that start to the others, you can see that the others are made up of 2 squares, 8 points. And where I'm stepping on, you see the height, 8. This is 2 triangles, Star of David. By the way, do you know why Star of David must be 2 triangles instead of 3 circles or 4 squares? Why is that shape? Because it means David. You know, Hebrew is a language different from English or Spanish. Hebrew has no vowels. So we write down David with 5 letters. In Hebrew it's only 3. D, D, D. Letter D in former Hebrew was the triangle. Remember that the Greeks call it delta? The triangle. So we have 2 triangles, we have 2 Ds. What is the V? It's also there. Why? Because Hebrew is like Latin. Not because the letters are numbers. For example, we all know that in Roman numeral the V is 5. However, in Hebrew the V is 6. How many points do we see with the 2 triangles? We see 6. So we see the V. V, V, V. Wait, any question? Let's go down now to the bridge.
Okay.
We're going to meet the bus, we get on the bus, we drive a couple of minutes on the bus, and we have to find this. And the final chance to the
All right.
Speed time. I'm like, dang.
Pas un magnète de jambe.
Speed time. I'm like, dang.
Pas un magnète de jambe.
Yeah, and then I've used 2 personal
You have to be one of them.
that aren't.
Those because I'm gonna tell you when I try to do stuff, it doesn't work now.
We've increased the sub pay.
Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it.
And we do offer benefits to subs. If they work full time,
Yeah.
you get medical and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. I've tried to do that and it hasn't worked so much, and so that's why I have to do the other. But I hope we can try it because it's a great idea.
Yeah, we're hoping, and like we know that it will really change a
I'm
lot.
gonna go take a picture of it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to change a lot for a lot of districts around us if we're successful.
Correct.
Like if we can pilot this,
Get it! Get it! Oh my goodness! Oh, yeah. That's why they strapped them together.
I got strapped to the one in Vegas on the lake, and I literally was up there, and I'm like, get me down! Get me freaked out, like, flicking me off. Like,
Okay, I'm taking this.
Wait for it.
This is so picture like that. These doors. And that's the bridge. Look at that. There's the bridge.